Hello. I'm going to do some bug fixing, which means I got to do emails, which means we need high security mode for a minute. So I can go to the emails. Okay. Okay. Downloads. Okay. Okay. Right argument of a shift operation must be of an integer type. I mean, that looks like an integer type. Oh. It's just not checking for autocast yet. Yeah. Okay, wait. So, okay, this is annoying because we're doing the const expert stuff. Wait, we already. This code should probably get refactored a little bit. Because wait. We do this maybe const expert shift operation here. But then down here we do it again. That's not good. Oh, but this might be for frickin' overload. I don't know. This code I would like to be better. Anyway, ignoring that potential small thing. So we go left as int, we go right as int, and then we do this. So left type, let's make sure. Left type is get inferred type of substitution of binary arrow left. Okay. Okay, so we do some stuff. And then we come down here, which is where we actually... Yeah, I don't... This code is complicated enough that I have no idea what's going on after we leave here. Maybe, I guess the handling is higher? Like, I'm just not sure where the type match. So what I'm looking for right now is the type matching between the sides of the binary operations. Let's just see who calls this, first of all. Okay, so that's very straightforward. So nothing's happening around this call. Types match. Okay, if there's an auto cast on an array subscript. Okay, well, that's not what we're looking for. Plus or minus, that's not what we're looking for. This is an assignment. Okay. Okay. Dude, there's so much code just to do binary operators. All right, or down here as well. We could just move that type check. What is this else here? If it's an assignment or not. So this, I don't know why we have the shifts broken out into a separate thing. Okay, when we do the check that types match, we will insert a new cast instead of the auto cast. So binary left. Okay, let's try this. Although I mean, we've kind of got the handling here. Let's just step through and see. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to return from these. And we're going to build that. But in debug, please. Please hurry up so I can switch to debug. Okay. So we'll just, if we say either of these, that's fine. This file is called cast bit shift. Cast bit shift. Okay, we're here. We're here. It's not going to do any of these. It's not constantable. Okay. Oh, we go there. What? Oh, because it's an assignment, right? So do we not? We must have done the type match at some point, right? No. That's really strange. So up here, okay, we're doing pointer math. That's got check the types match. Like we're here. I mean, really, we should be running this code. So this is... So I feel like we've got a bad braces here. Some bad braces snuck in. Which is a thing that could happen when there's just a lot of code, right? I don't want to refactor this right now because I'm not sure what's going to be better. Like, I would take a day sometime soon and just try to factor this binary operator code differently because it's doing a lot of wacky stuff. And I think I would just break it down in the different cases. Like, look, is this pointer math? Just call a separate pointer math function. Is this an assignment? Just call an assignment function. Like, maybe, you know. Okay, so our theory is that we done goofed at some point in the past, and this, after this else, like, I think this should be else if, maybe. Let's try that. Maybe there's a reason why this isn't true. Okay. So, pointer style bin ops. All right. So now down here, we're going to do some check that types match. And all this like polymorphism stuff that really should be running for all these operators. I don't know. This could be a disaster. Let's see what happens. Ah! We exited for some reason. Oh, well. All right, that didn't work. Yeah, this code is just too hard to understand. This is a dilemma. This is a dilemma that I have. All right, we're going to undo that. So we're going to wait on refactoring this whole thing to solve that problem. What we're going to do we're going to call this overload. So we're going to explain why we have this travesty. All right. Wait, this is debug. I don't know why I'm running it in the console now, but I am. Number signedness. Okay, so I fucked something else up. Right. Oh, okay. No, I understand. My brain turned on, guys. My problem is because it's Thanksgiving, I've been having a chill day and haven't eaten as much sugar as you normally need to fit the standard programmer diet. Right. The reason this check is not happening, we need to make a decision. Okay, the reason this check is not happening is that with a shift operation, you don't really want to, like, okay, with plus, for example, and you get integers of two different sizes or whatever, you want to cast them to the same size as each other, right? That's all fine. When you have a shift operator, the numbers on both sides mean different things, right? They're fundamentally different from each other. You have the number on the left, which is just some value. And you have the number on the right, which is like how much you shift it by. And if I had put a comment in that we are skipping that check, then I might have noticed it over the past 10 minutes or however long I've been staring at this code, right? And it would have reminded me, dude, this isn't like the other I'm not like the other girls. I'm different. I like vampires. So yeah, that's what's happening here. All right. So I think what I'm just going to do is ignore AutoCast here because we're handling it in the bytecode generation. So we're not going to do this. Okay, this is all we needed to do. This is all we needed to do. And I'm going to put this no check in here because we're going to want to comment that we are not doing check that types match. All right. Well, that crashes later. Oh, I see. We aren't handling it. So what do we do here? When we get an autocast, I think we just I think it's just S64, right? That's what we should treat it as. Even though that's a very large number type. Like what else should we do? Because it might be an overloaded operator, right? Like for actual numbers, we are not today on machines with greater than 64 bits required there. So, all right. If this is kind of a weird thing to say, like why does it say that? But we should handle it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start writing our comment now that we've woke our brain up. We're going to say, bit shift operations don't do a type match on both sides because the two values don't get combined. They have fundamentally different meanings. However, the user might do something weird, like give us an autocast on the right. So on either side, really. We could just leave it the type that it was. Okay. So we're gonna have left is auto, right is auto. And how do we see? Sometimes we don't have a good way to do things that you would think would be easy. Oh, we're in the compiler. We don't need this right now. We could say, I know I have a function called strip autocast, but like the problem in a normal compiler, you would just strip the autocast and destructively modify the syntax tree to get rid of it. We can't do that here because we're exporting to the user level meta program. So we put another cast on top. Okay, but we won't. Auto below is strip auto cast binary left. We're going to have this. We're going to have an if right is auto, right? Okay, so we're going to strip the auto cast. We're going to check that types match of we want a different overload. Not that one. Okay. Get inferred type below. And we're just going to recast the autocast to that. The given type is, well, no, we want, right, ampersand binary left, yield, and binary. And then we'll do these. Okay. So anytime it's a pain in the ass. In theory, anytime we do a type match, we might have to yield because of really weird things. Because it's a complicated programming language. So that's why we do this. If we matched, we would have reported an error, so then we just return. Okay. If right is auto, what should the right type be? Well, the only real default integer type in this language is S64, so we use that despite it being really, really, really excessive for bit shifts. All right, so if right is auto, we're going to do this. Because we're changing this. We're using these that were computed higher up in the function. All right. Check that types match. I mean, we could put these in else clauses anyway. Do we use these? No. We're literally just setting up. All right, so we do that. We do that. Okay, we're not going to do this. Right is auto anymore. All right, so if right is auto, we don't do that. Interp type def S64, binary left, yield binary, if yield, if no match, right, okay. Illegal escape seek, how did we get in it? Oh, I thought this was a good programming language. Sorry, everybody. Strip autocast. Where is that? Oh, strip autocasts. We're in India with a caste system. All right. Attempt to take the address of something that has no address. Oh, God. Fuck. All right. So now all this code is working. But because we casted the thing, we're creating a temporary value. Although I don't know why that's any more temporary. Let's see if we made other problems in the other code. Because if we start seeing a bunch of red, we're like, oh, okay, there's a big problem. I don't think there should be. This is so stupid. This is such a stupid thing to put in the program. I'm just double checking. These are all integers. So 7 minus j should be a perfectly reasonable temporary value, right? That just gets some value number. So an autocast of that should also be a perfectly reasonable value. So I'm kind of just not sure why it's freaking out about this. But sometimes you fix something and it gives you a clue about other things that you need to deal with. Okay. All right, everything else seems to work. So we now go to phase 2 of our investigations, which is just, how do we do this? All right. So I think we break on error right now. No. I deleted that breakpoint apparently, so we'll put it back. Oh, it moved because we edited the file. Okay. So why are we complaining about this? Emit L value. Okay. Oh, this isn't a... Wait, did I mess up my left is auto? We would only be trying to get the L value of the left-hand side. Emit L value of A. What is A? Get placement. Emit binary. Okay, I think I goofed my copy pasta here. Remember when I did left is auto, right is auto? If left is auto, binary left. So left is auto should not fire in this case at all. Oh, yeah. So here, we're comparing the wrong thing. This is supposed to be right. Okay. So that was easy. And that code did not invoke for literally anything else. All right. Yay. Let's make a test out of this. And however, let's test the left-hand side. The above was the original bug report. Let's test AutoCast on the left. Okay. Dude, copy pasta errors like that, they're just one of the most common errors in programming. Like, I even remember a long time ago, like John Carmack was writing a post analyzing his mistakes in code, and he was like, yeah, that's one of the most common things. Like, I think it's the most common thing. I mean, once you get beyond noob problems, you start hitting stuff like this, which is just like, you didn't type what you meant to type. You didn't type what you obviously meant to type, and because it's copy paste and you're starting from code nearby that already compiled, then it probably compiles, right? So yeah. It's just one of those things. Just one of those things. You remember him talking about it in a QuakeCon keynote. Interesting. Yeah. Yep. So it's John Carmack's fault. It's not my fault, everybody. I did it fine. John Carmack broke my code. Okay. So we want to do now, let's say C, there's no C. And we're going to go XXC. Oh, we can't do this because that will rightfully tell us that we're trying to assign. Let's do this for no ambiguity. Yeah. So this error message could be better, honestly, but it's at least correct. Okay, so What happens when we do this? So D should be 32, right? Dude, when we blast off the tests, we're importing basics so many times. D is 32. All right. Okay, so I think that wouldn't have worked before. All right. So let's redo the copy here. All right. Fix. Oh, we got to go to the changelog. Fixed operator. Fixed bit shift and rotate operators. Not correctly handling autocasts on either side of the operation. I don't know. It's probably a better description of that. Commit. Fix a bit shift autocast bug. That's just one of those things where oh, dude. Did I report this in table remove? I claimed that went out in the last beta and it didn't because it wasn't. Or no, I guess if I made it off this machine, it did. All right. This. I don't remember what that was about. We can't check that in. That's from like a month ago or more. Okay. Okay, this is what we were just doing. And there we go. And I will send an email off my laptop. Reply. This is fixed in the next beta, but that is a weird thing to write. Exclamation point. Okay. Bug report. Example plugin allocates incorrect struct type. Oh. Oops. Lol. Okay. That's a goof. Oh, right, we changed this. Is it like that? Yep. Okay, so that works. Thanks, this is fixed. See how much easier that one was than the previous one. Guys, I'm trying to type on this other computer, which is the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, which, as I have said publicly, is tremendously better than for game development than all these shitty ass $4,000 laptops, because the quality of those has just decayed so far that there's no reason to buy any of them ever, right? And so while this laptop is much slower, it's just a lot better because it actually works for the most part. However, now that I've been using it for some number of months, I don't remember when I got it, but I've been using it for like 7 or 8 months. I don't know, 6 months. Some of the important keys on the keyboard are starting to stick in that annoying way. And one of those is backspace. So like I can't reliably repeatedly hit backspace anymore. And that makes the laptop, it suddenly shifts the laptop from being pretty good to like super goddamn annoying, right? The thing is, guys, we had laptop keyboards figured out 25 years ago. Like they were way better than modern keyboards. And like they just keep making the keyboards worse in order to save like 2 millimeters or something. But nobody cares about millimeters anymore. It's like there's this fetish of how small to make the laptop. I don't want the laptop to be small. I mean, it's nice if it's kind of small. Am I going to care about 2 millimeters? No. I'm going to care that the keyboard is good, please. It's so frustrating, dude. Zero millimeters is better. Dude, there was some laptop that somebody released that was the touch screen on both surfaces, right? So it's like your phone where the keyboard is a touch screen. I can't imagine anybody bought that. That was a disaster. Let me see if they have a new one. This is bugging me so much. We're going to take a break. I guess when it, like, I started searching and it said pry key. I wonder if that's because I started searching for this when it started happening, like a few weeks ago. I forget now. Can I just put a little Stanley blade under and pop the key up, or is that going to destroy my keyboard? And if I do that, will that even help? I don't even remember which one I have. I think it's probably the Gen 13. I don't know. Wait, no, because 14 inch. I think the one that I have is like 13 inch. Let me measure. Get a measuring. After moving into my new apartment, I finally have things organized enough after 4 months that I know where the measuring tape is. Okay, yeah, this is 14 inch. I claim. So it's maybe that one. What is a G7? Is that really old? It's $300. Maybe I have the Gen 12. When did this come out? November 2020. Okay, I probably have this one then. Yeah, I have the Aura edition of whatever it is, so it might be this one. When is Gen 14? If the last one was November last year, oh, it's not November this year. Sex Panther Lake. All right. Well, maybe I'm just going to try prying the keyboard. Doesn't Lenovo offer a lot of spare parts? Yeah, but like I don't want to be a laptop technician. I just want to press the delete key. If you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. Spray it with contact cleaner. I mean, so can I just pry the keycap up? Does that work? Or am I about to destroy my laptop? I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So The thing about backspace is it's one of those special keys that usually has the bar, right? Because it's kind of wider. YOLO. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely got a bar under there. That's probably why it's sticking, is because it has the frickin' bar, dude. All right, I'm prying it. I hope I didn't break it. Okay. The backspace key is off the keyboard. And so here's the thing. The keycap under it, you know, there's one of the little plastic plungers that goes on a thing. And that is not sticking now. So it was the bars that were sticking somehow. So maybe I need to put some CLP on the bars. Like they don't feel that sticky by themselves either. All right. Good luck to me trying to get this key back on. Maybe I'll do this later off stream when I have time to figure it out. It should be fairly easy. It's just there's two of these bars and they have to like both fit back in the key. And it's hard to see. Like the plastic is semi-translucent on the bottom of the key, so it's like hard to see how I put them in. I think I slide the bottom one first into like a groove, and then I snap the top one on. Is kind of what it looks like, but it's really hard to see, honestly. Anyway, we'll do that later. You just align and press hard. No, I guarantee that's not right for this one. Well, that almost does it. It's just the bottom one is like a slide into place on this. Yeah, it's if I just keep aligning and pressing hard, I'm probably going to break something off. Oh, wait. I think I got the groove, though. I think I got the... All right, I have a backspace key now. I didn't actually clean it. I just popped it off and wiggled stuff around. And it seems better. Maybe one of the bars was just a little bit gummed up and moving it loosened it up. All right. All right. Solved. All right. So we want to take the W for this. Modules example plugin fixed that this plugin was allocating the wrong plugin type. All right. Fix a dumb example plugin bug. Boom. We cannot I'm reading an email. We cannot assert false inside libraries without making a backup of the stack trace. We cannot continue after assert. We can assert, but we cannot continue after assert in a debugger without this hotfix. What? I'm gonna delegate this one. Description. Oh, it's already sticking. We're gonna have to clean it better. It's not sticking as bad, but it's sticking. Okay. I have delegated that. What the hell is build CPP? Why does this have Nintendo support? I don't think we can ship that to people. Okay. I'm gonna say this. Okay. I've also delegated that. Okay. How are you guys doing? I hope you're all doing good. Thanksgiving on programming. Thanks, programming. In general, you can't do this. If you are calling into any third-party code of any kind, you need to not change the allocator to something it can't handle. I don't see this as a simp problem because this could happen with anything unless I misunderstand? Question mark. The only solution to this would be to advise all authors of all code to remember allocators and restore them upon entry points, which is just not feasible. maybe we could on occasion add and assert that we aren't using the temporary allocator, but that only works for that one single temporary allocator and not anything else weird that someone might be using. Okay, so that's not a bug that we have to fix right now. Let me see, memory debugger bugs. You're importing flat pool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this kind of thing could be in the allocators info proc, but then the memory debugger would have to keep a hash table of all allocators and whether it has queried this info from them. Initially, I was scared that this would be slow, but the hash table is kind of fast. What do you think of this kind of solution? What do we call it? What do we call it? Allocator mode. Is to have info in the allocator caps. All right. We'll see what they think of that. This is not something we're going to do tonight, but we're going to continue the conversation. And see. Because it does make sense to handle that. Okay. Compiler crash. Let us type. Okay, that's interesting. Boom. Copy expression to global data. All right. Wait, why are we... Oh, because we reverted that file. That's what's happening. All right, so bytes is going to be -1 probably. So either there could be one of two things happening. Either this type is like not figured out yet, or it's polymorphic. It's not polymorphic. 32. Struct. Okay. So this is a vanilla struct. It's a literal for a vanilla struct. Let's go back and look here. It's an empty struct. We could add a member to the struct if we wanted. Oh, we need the semicolon. We use semicolons every day. Okay, same problem. So it's not anything weird about it being empty. Do I need a semicolon there? This weird syntax is... Okay, interesting. Interesting. So when we put a value in there, we're actually waiting for the struct to get inferred, but here we are not. Let's do it again just to make sure. Okay, so export members. Fill struct type definition. Okay, so I'm just hoping it's really something simple like this. Okay, it's in the size pipe. So we should not be here. It's in the size pipe. Oh, no, we have been sized. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, wait. So if we're here, then if we say desk define type size, what? Struct has been sized. I do say this is error prone. I didn't say why it's error prone. Okay. This looks like something really wacky. This just looks like we did something wrong with if statements and we don't set the size under these conditions or something. Or maybe we meant to not be able to continue, but we returned true. I don't know. All right. Do we succeed? Is it the first? So before we actually step in there, we want to make sure that this is the one that causes the problem, and it is. All right, so we can step in on the first time. How do I prefer you to report bugs on some modules that are just 1 or 2 lines of code? You mean the bug is 1 or 2 lines of code? You just email it to the thing. You know, just email it to the thing. Okay. So we call size struct. We do that. We do that. Wait, what? What? Struct infer consequences. Arguments block harassment. Oh. Yes. Wait. This struct should be... Oh, it's the... Wait, it's the outer struct? Which one is it? There's 2 structs. Bound name bang. Okay. I was wrong. I thought it was this one. It's not that one. It's this one that we're complaining about. Um, I don't know why it's not flagged as polymorphic. Is that intentional for some reason? What line are we on? Okay, wait, did we decide that it's varargs? Oh, no, this is just if we have an arguments block. Okay. Okay. That's for arguments that are polymorphic. Okay, so we don't queue this. Where do we set the define type? When we make, oh, that's for an enum. This is for a struct. Make struct. Okay, so we do this. And then we probably add the arguments after. Now, we don't actually know. Let's find where this is being called from, right? So we're going to take this. We're going to go here. We're going to say this. Okay. Where are we called from? Parsing. All right. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I expect this to happen. We add an arguments block. We get declarations. Do we clear this at some point? Like what? Okay, wait. It's still polymorphic here. At our breakpoint. But I thought, okay, maybe I was wrong. Sometimes you're wrong when you check values. I thought I checked that. No, I mean, oh, wait, is this the right thing? Maybe it's the same flags. Ensure struct type info, fill struct type definition. Polymorphic. Maybe I looked at the wrong value and got confused. I don't know. Has arguments, yes. Copy notes, do declarations. Okay, where was the thing? It's in export members. So there's a literal. What is the member? Count. 1. Decals. Struct arguments. Right. Oh, maybe I was looking at this. I was probably looking at this guy and seeing that he wasn't polymorphic. Okay. So here's what's going on, guys. This is one of those ways in which compilers are complicated. Way back when we were looking at sizing the struct, I forget where that was. Here. Okay, well, this is weird because this should have said, well, we'll check it, but this should have said the argument's not ready. It's still being compiled. I'm not sure why. Well, let's check. Okay, so experdef in here. Maybe I was getting these two things confused. Whoops, wrong flags. Okay, this must be what I was looking at before. It was the inner struct that's in the argument. Okay. Yeah, well, we're trying to write this into the type info for the thing. So why? I see. This is in the size pipe. Also, here's what happened. I looked here. I saw that it was in the size pipe, and then I looked at the stack and I saw that we were sizing, and I assumed that we were sizing this and that we were just finishing. But that is not what it was. This is in the size pipe also, but it is different. Okay. So, why then, when we asked if the struct arguments were ready, is there an early out there? Okay, so we're checking if the expression itself, which is not enough. Not continue, return false. There's other stuff that we should check here. Actually, we could do a more general thing, but this should address this one thing that we're looking at. Still doesn't. Why not? Wait, did we really rebuild? Yeah. Why not? Let's put a breakpoint here for our convenience. Wait, polymorphic variable. What? Oh no. Okay, we need something up there actually. So this thing. Okay, we're going to do this same check. Dude, Windows just it just reset my whole display because I accidentally hit some key combination. All right, we fixed the problem. Um, let's do it without that. And let's make the compiler run on all the tests because we might have broken something with that. I hope we didn't, but it's quite possible. Not tets. Can you guys trying to make arguments about why one language is better than another? I know you mean well, but like there's so many things about this that are better than any comparable language. Like the little reasons people are giving in chat like don't matter. Like, dude, we just do so many things. Okay, forget better. We just do so many things so differently than everybody else that like these small things like are not relevant to defining the language. Like, do people who don't use it not know what those are? Sure. Does it matter? Not really, because why would anyone be concerned with winning an internet programming language war anyway? Like, the languages that win those wars are the shittiest languages anyway. Like, try to talk about how JavaScript or like Ruby have problems and see how many internet bros get up in your face about it. Like, it just it just doesn't matter. So this language is made for people who can tell why it's good by looking. Let's put it that way. This language is made for people who have the amount of judgment accrued already that they can tell why it's good. And you don't really need to like argue with people about things. Because the arguments are going to be so simplistic and on such a surface level anyway, it doesn't matter. And it's just going to be frustrating to like see them happening. You earn troll points. I mean, that's true. I guess how many troll points do you need to get into heaven again? I forget. It just frustrates me to see the discussions, honestly, because it's like they kind of insult the work, but not intentionally, but they insult the work by talking about all these small things that don't matter anyway. And it's like, dude, like, do you have any idea all the things we do? Like, oh my God. In a struct parameter list, in that case, the type of the declaration is polymorphic variable because it has not yet, it has, okay, why is it exactly? Type of $T that has not yet been matched. But we need to wait on the expression to be ready before we can write it into the constant storage for this struct. Actually, let's not even say that has not yet been matched because it's not matched at all in this case. Um, okay. Normally, expression, normally, well, no, not even. All right, that's fine. All right. I will report this as fixed. This is fixed in the next beta. Thanks for the report. Boom. Okay. You'll believe it once this language is released. Believe what? Believe what? Like, what are we even talking about? Okay. Like, if you guys want at least some explanation of where the work has gone in this language, you can watch my LambdaConf talk from earlier this year, which maybe someone can link in the chat. It showed, for example, a bunch of stuff, like stuff that we've been doing for years that, as far as I know, no other programming language does. Right? And we show it via demonstration of useful functionality that comes as a result of the language operating this way. So it's not just some kind of like abstruse language lawyer thing. It's like, no. Because we do this, we can do this. And then I show what we do, right? And I think that's I mean, it's better. Like, anytime someone asks me, why is language A better than B, I just get angry. Because that person doesn't really want to have an intelligent discussion, really, even if they think they do, because it's not, historically, that's not a question that results in intelligent discussion, right? The only thing that results in intelligent discussion is you demonstrate things that are very difficult or impossible to do in other places. And the reason you don't see that happen very much is because it's hard. It's hard to demonstrate capabilities that other people don't have, because you actually have to do a lot of decent, useful work. So, yeah, thanks for the links. That's why you don't see that kind of thing very often. Is that mostly an internal tool? No, everybody who uses the compiler can use that system anytime they want. It's just, it comes with the compiler. Do I ever plan to write a book? I mean, maybe sometime, but I'm way too busy for the foreseeable future. I don't exactly know what would be in the book. We started writing one on stream sometime, and then I just decided not to. Okay. Let's build the Sokoban game. That also builds. So I think we could take the W on this. All right. Oh, we got to put it in the change log. Are we in the right place? Fixed polymorphic structs with struct argument default, struct parameter default with struct typed parameter default values, crashing in some cases, causing crash. Let's just say that. In some cases is like useless verbiage because everything is in some cases, right? Fix a crash involving polymorphic structs with struct default values. Okay. Well, let's see what else. I'm already, I'm just frustrated by the language war thing. So, you know what really bothers me about the language war thing? Because anytime something's really frustrating, you have to look at what's the reason, right? And part of it is normal stuff. It's like, oh, I've worked so tremendously hard on this for such a long time. It would be bummer if people don't end up using it, or it would be, although I get to use it, and that's great, right? It's still a bummer if it doesn't become widespread in the world. Of course, it can't yet because we haven't released it, but at some point, right? But also, here's the thing: to the extent that there is a language war, and there is, and I've had some frustration. You know, the reason I don't do demos anymore, and I've talked about this before, is because I would do demos of functionality that was very good that we worked on hard for a long time to make good, and then we demo it, and then like the next month, some other language someone is making claims to have the same thing, but it's like it's the Timu version of the thing, you know? And part of the agenda of this language is just that programmer time and peace of mind and all these things are tremendously valuable. And so we work very hard to make things good for them, right? And like it kind of jeopardizes the mission if somebody else claims to do similar things and it just falls apart like rice paper in water the moment you do anything, right? Um, so I think that's actually what frustrates me about it is like I wouldn't mind if there were a language competition and it was actually a good competition where like everybody's like bringing big guns out and like implementing stuff that's awesome and it's not copying each other, it's all different from each other and each one is like doing some really interesting useful exploration. Then being in that competition is cool because you're helping build the future of programming languages for everybody, right? And you're helping explore and all these things. But like when the competition is just a bunch of pettiness that's about trying to steal people's attention and trying to be weirdly dogmatic and all these things, and very little progress is being made on the actual frontier of programming languages and what's useful and what's good, that's really frustrating. And losing to that, and it's like what the idea that's frustrating is not losing to any particular language, it's losing to this abyss of cacophony of like shitty shit, right? Like if good things can't actually win because shitty shit always wins, that's really frustrating, right? Um, which is not, I'm not calling everyone else's language shitty. Please don't misunderstand that. I'm just saying the the sound and fury of the whole thing is shitty. It's like a vast absorption of programmer time and attention that could much better go into making software good, right? So that's what frustrates me about the whole thing, and that's why, you know, that's in part why I'm not participating, right? You'll note that we haven't made this public yet. We could have made it public literally 10 years ago, right? Um, the reason why I haven't is because I'm trying to extend the frontier of what is being done in a good and high quality way. And we're getting close. We're getting close to the point where we could release it, but um, we're not there yet. Yeah, I mean, I have mixed thoughts about all this, right? Like, look, if someone's enthusiastic about programming languages and they want to make their own, and even if it's heavily inspired by other languages, I think all those things are fine, right? That's like what programmers do when they get excited about things. But like if I give a demo and someone gets inspired by that demo and then tries to turn around and kill me in the language war with their thing that they did because of my demo, that just makes me really angry. That just makes me really angry. Um, and that would make me angry. It makes me especially angry because I'm at the focus of that, right? But it would make me really angry if I saw anyone doing that to anyone, right? It's like, it's just not cool. So I don't like that. I don't like any of that stuff. And that's why I don't do demos anymore, right? That's why when I stream, it's just hanging out here working on stuff because it's harder for people to copy the important things about the language when I do this. Glad you're not the only one putting in long hours on a holiday. Let me tell you, if you go through this even, you'll see quite a bit. So let's look for 25 December because, oh, I don't, wait, what? How do we not have 25? I know there's some 25 Decembers. How about 1 January? Okay, wait, what's going on? What's going on? Now I'm freaking out. I know I've got, maybe I just didn't check in because these are all dated by the day that we check in. So I probably just didn't happen to check in on those days. But the point being, there are many times when I worked late nights on stuff. Commit history. No, this isn't commit history. This is release notes. So this is just what day did I release a new version of the compiler, and I would have guessed that, like, I definitely remember doing releases during holiday times, but it's probably off by like a day or something. I don't know. Like, here's a December 26th release, which is maybe one of the ones that I remember. And of course, I was working on that through like 23rd of December, 15, you know. So the point being, I've done many holiday programming sprints, and they're fun actually, because there's something about like everyone else is on break that like removes any kind of time pressure or anything. It's like, oh, anything I do right now is just extra, and that's relaxing and kind of fun in some way. But yeah, it's also how you get good. I mean, you put in the time, you get better, right? So if you're making a language and see in the wild a better way to do an aspect of it, shouldn't you hold off and keep integrating a subpar solution to be respectful? You think once it's out in the wild, it's fair play. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people are pretending to have things that are as good. Maybe because they don't even know what we have, right? But and this, this actually is not so much in the past few years. Like what you're hearing me talk about is anger that built up several years ago from people doing this stuff. I don't know what people are even saying lately because I pay so much less attention to it. Maybe everybody does, honestly. Like, because it's not like I tried to pay attention to it before either. I just saw more of it. But this is what I'm saying. If I felt that I was in a legitimate competition to build the best thing, like if it was like the space race of US versus Russia or something, that would be really cool. But that's not what I'm in, right? And so it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. I streamed every day from the 22nd to the 28th December last year. Okay, that's a good example. Yeah. I forget what I was working on that time. Um, it might have been compiler. It might have been endgame. Was it endgame stuff for Sokoban? I don't remember. Christmas Compiler Cleanup Club. Okay. Cool. There we go. That's a very good example. And it's like, oh, it's vacation. I can do chill extra stuff like just increase code quality by working on the code, right? Okay. That's a cool title. Well, the title comes from Coffee Compiler Club. Let's see, do we still have Coffee Compiler Club? Is that still going? Yep. Wait. Okay, playlist 2025 July 11 October. I don't know why YouTube's not giving me these in order. What's Coffee Compiler Club talking about now? Okay. 2022, 2024. November 21.
Me too.
Is there a C++ slowness? Tracing and build, logging versus tracing. Radiation. I don't know what the hell that means. Story of Pixar. Small contract interpreter. Emlier. All right. So that's still going, as you can see. Not a lot of views, but that's... I mean, for a regular stream that just talks about esoteric compiler issues, that's not bad. I mean, it's not T-Pain songs, right? Is it a podcast about compilers? Yeah, although it's sort of Cliff Click's thing. Like he runs it, and he's very interested in this language that he's making, of course. And his language is more of a functional style language, and so a lot of the discussion tends to be about these functional language kinds of issues. Although that one didn't seem to be, right? So I don't know. Okay. Crash. The following code will crash. Okay, this is a lot of code, so I'm going to go into high security mode and copy it. Okay. Okay. Let us see what happens. Oh. Word wrap. All right. During compile time execution. Wait, let's just make sure that we've got a clean thing. All right, so trying things. We're calling program print.print expression. And it breaks. For directive run. Interesting. So this is happening in compile time execution. And the sad thing about compile time execution is it's not native code, so it's a little harder to debug right now. Oh, yeah, we're still in high security mode. Sorry. Sorry. All right, so we got to look at this. I'm going to grab another drink. This one's empty. And then we'll come back and look, but it's probably something stupid. And we can just do printf debugging on this, right? So you know what I should do sometime is try to get a font that where the letters are slightly less wide, so I can do 2-up better at a big font size. I don't know. Maybe that's not worth it. Anyway, we're calling into here. We've got a run directive. And maybe the procedure is not null, or the procedure is null. Body or null. Oh, it's probably it's the body or null, right? Like we probably don't put the body there. Did I ever do the conditional dereference operator? I still didn't get my drink. All right, well, that fixed the problem. The thing is, we're not printing anything useful here. All right, drink. Back in a second. Any actual technical questions while I get this? Okay. I'm just going to leave this as the workaround for now. Almost always block should be non-null, but in some rare cases where someone does a caller code at compile time currently, wait, it doesn't have to do with the caller code. I assumed it did, but I don't think it does. Wait, why? Okay, we might delete this comment. So I'm going to put a no check in here. I just wanted to finish the thought. So compiler get nodes of call. It's giving you the macro expansion somehow. I kind of don't think we should do that. All right. So I'm going to reply to this person and say, thanks. The crash is fixed in the next beta. However, I think part of the issue is just that compiler get nodes of the caller code is expanding out the macro expansion for some reason, and this probably isn't good. I don't know. Is it good? Is there any way to have language level support for async that doesn't have the problems of JavaScript and Go models? I mean, I don't know what you think are those problems. I mean, language level support for async at some level is not very hard doing the basic thing, right? The challenge comes in like, how do you make it useful and good to the greatest extent possible, right? And for me, I don't think mechanisms like async are serious parallel programming. They just don't look like serious parallel programming to me. So I kind of don't see the point in building them. Like, if what you want is a convenient way to dispatch some code, that can just be done at user level and it's fine. And people even do that in C++. So, like, is it that much of a bigger deal that you can, like, do it inline in a block? I don't think so. And then, like, even in C++, if you did think that, like the current like Lambda syntax expansions and all that can like make that happen, I think, anyway. So like I just don't get it. I don't understand why people are fixated on async. I don't think it's very good. Um, it's a very easy way to shoot yourself in the face, go through your face, and then hit your foot. So there's that too. And the more serious your program is, the more likely that is to be true. How do you onboard yourself to a 1 million line code project at work? Using AI to explain code base. No, I wouldn't do either of those things. I would just make sure you're using an IDE where you can go to definition, right? That's a very fundamental operation. And you can do that to browse the code and understand what's going on. And then just you run some code, you set a breakpoint in the debugger, you see where the code is and what the relationship is between things, right? And then preferably you have an actual task that you're trying to accomplish. And by doing this in the neighborhood of code relevant to your task, you can at least learn that local neighborhood of code. If you're in JavaScript, forget about it. You're fucked. Async is very useful in specific domains. I mean, those specific domains are kind of trivial. So that's the thing is like, I don't get it. Okay. Anyway, we got to decide if we like what's happening here. So we've got a code directive. I guess, I mean, this is in dependency order, which is weird. Here's what I'm going to do. Instead of iterating in dependency order, I just want to look at, so we're going to say root. All right. And then we're going to say, I'm just going to add things here. Okay, what do we got here? Procedure call. Okay. Kill this buffer. So it's this thing, and this is going to have macro expansion block. So we would like to just not do that. Actually, if it's a code directive and we're doing compiler get nodes, I think we just shouldn't, like, we don't want the macro expansion. I don't think. Maybe there could be options controlling whether we get it or not. Um, but for now, I don't think we ever want the macro expansion. But we do want it from the meta program. Curse to debug performance problems. I mean, performance problems are definitely one issue with async, but the bigger issue with async is at some point you are definitely doing non-thread safe, non-deterministic things, and you don't understand that because you've just got all this async going on, right? Like it's actually, you actually have to be very disciplined to not introduce thread safety problems. And of course, these thread safety problems won't crash you, right? Because the browser is insulating you against that. But they will cause you to compute wrong answers to things and all this sort of stuff. The syntax semantics level representation. If you're writing Verilog code that describes hardware, it's inherent to the semantics that everything is happening at the same time. Yep, that makes sense. Right now, you're trying to get a syntax semantics model that works for both because the languages in hardware space are horribly designed. So the thing is, if what you're saying is you want a programming language that's more parallel by default the way a circuit is, that's a little bit weird because languages are just written linearly, right? Like that's the thing, you know, a circuit is 2D or more. And so there's not a total ordering between things, right? Languages are written in 1D by default. And so there's just inherently an ordering to what you write. And you could try to get around that. But at some point, it's weird. At some point, it's like, if you want it to be inherently unordered, maybe you do need a visual language for that or something. You know what I'm saying? Because the way we think, like it's just inherently goes left to right, top to bottom, right? In hardware, you still write code in 1D. I mean, yeah. But like, I don't know. I don't know enough about what those languages look like, I guess, to comment. Circuit can be 3D. Yes, I know that. It's very rare, but yes. And I don't mean space like it, for that to matter. It has to be actually topologically 3D. In your mind, it is an execution model that can also work in a single thread. Well, anything multi-threaded can, well, not anything, but as long as there aren't like locking dependencies, you can always serialize the actions into one thread. Like, I don't think your comment is relevant to reality in any way, is what I would say. Okay. So let's look. Uh, so I think we probably set some global variable on the message importer. Is primary exporter. Okay, I think we say is primary exporter. Let's try this. So, okay, all right. Let's just try this. Macro expansion block. I don't know if I love introducing that there, but I'm not sure I have a better solution. Dude, we're not even running the compiler. Okay, that we're compiling. All right. Okay. Let's go back to the version that printed everything. It's still literally all this stuff. We built release build. We ran release build. Oh, it should be yes is primary exporter, not no. Not no. Okay, there we go. Okay. If primary exporter, we are in compiler get nodes And we don't want to export big chunky stuff like the macro expansion block. I think maybe this should be some configuration flags on compiler get nodes. Okay, I will send a mail to this person and say, in the next beta, we won't output the big compiler macro expansion block that was generating all these nodes anyway. Okay, let me let's just make sure before I even send that email that we don't cause some kind of a big problem. Generating the run nodes. Okay. So this was fixed a crash when calling compiler get no. Oh, this is in program print. Modules program print fixed a crash calling compiler get nodes on a macro expansion, then printing the result, which created a run node that had a null body or null. Okay. So we should actually, in program print, we can do this. Just so that it's not like the empty string, right? Tests regression compiler get nodes on macro expansion. All right. That's pretty good. I think we'll do one more and then I'll just chill for the night and watch some Burnt Peanut if he's streaming. Oh. Oh. This originally happened in this, but then we changed compiler get nodes so that it doesn't output the macro expansion block. But there could be other cases that cause a null body or null here. So we have left the check in. Okay. Do I have conditional dereference? I swear I at least thought about adding that. Nope. I swear I added that though. Here it is. It's commented out. Token conditional dereference is commented out. This would be the place that I would use it. How's Arc Raiders? I haven't played it in like a month. What do I mean conditional dereference? Okay, here's the thing. So this thing, I mean, some languages have this, but they're usually interpreted languages that are more squishy about results. But here, this pattern is like, if this pointer is not null, then I want this, but this text is redundant with what I just typed, right? So you could say something like the following. Block is c.procedure.body or null, like dot question mark block, right? And this would stand for, if this is null, just return the default value of whatever this type is, right? Or if this is false, actually, right? If it's true, then return this thing. The thing is just, I don't do this often enough, I think, to bother with this, but once in a while it happens, and then it's like, ugh, right? But of course, you could define this as a variable on the previous line and use it twice. I don't know. So that's the thing. I did start to add this at one point, and then I think I just didn't add it or something. Okay, so it's starting to get a little hungry. There's a bug on case directive import. Oh, I think you mentioned this in the Discord. Yeah, let's just take care of it. Directive import unshared space string literal. There's a missing quote before import.name and what? Shouldn't print string literal print quotes? I guess not. Okay, that's confusing. So you're saying I should do that? It's just misleading. Like, this function looks like, the name looks like it prints out the quotes, but it doesn't. Okay, let's look for others. Print string literal. Everybody else puts the quotes. All right. Fixed missing quotes when printing directive import. Great. Awesome. But then you check if block again. Why not check body or null once? Well, it's, you could, but this is slightly a different thing because yeah, you could do that. You could do that. Let's try that. Why not? Because in theory, this also would work if body or null dot block is null, but in practice, that should not be possible. Like, the compiler should never output that. However, well, okay. However, you could imagine imagine user level code doing that. So actually, I think this is better because this is actually two different null checks, right? Block can be null if body or null is null, but it can also be null if it's not null, but there's a null in this slot, right? So I'm going to leave it, but it's a good thought at least. All right, one more report from the same person. I thought we had one more. Maybe I fixed it. Okay. Using only thing that doesn't exist. I think we fixed this, but let's see. Okay, so what happens when we do this? I feel like I fixed this already. This is an older bug report, but no. Oh, I see. Eh. I'm gonna I so what he's saying is if Foozle doesn't exist, should you get an error? And I'm not actually sure. I'm not actually sure if this should be an error or not. We can poll people to see what they think. Okay, it's not a definite error. Incorrect stack trace lines. I have seen similar issues worth looking into, especially with well, let me look at what's the sample program. Sorry, one moment. I'm looking on my laptop. Oh, he's talking about something else. Wait, x64 and LLVM? Wow. This seems like a really weird discrepancy. Want to look at this one, question mark. Okay. I'm looking for other really bad bugs that we want to catch. Maybe this is it for tonight. I mean, there's more stuff that came in later. Someone has an indentation complaint. Examples, skeletal animation, source mesh, line 164. I think we fixed this. Oh, it's tabs. It just was using tabs, whereas much of the file is using spaces. Yay. Okay. We've got a bunch of just regular emails to sift through. I'll do that tonight once I log off. Auto dereferencing works with base types, but not structs. The latest update to auto dereferencing works with base types, but not structs. I see. Interesting. If someone wants to email me, I think I'm done for the night, but if someone wants to email a simple test, like I can imagine what that would be, but it's just helpful if someone emails a specific test case. Yeah. On program print, there's another bug in case number. We could fix, program print is it's easy code, right? There's another bug, append builder 0. Should be 0.0. That is true. Because if you reparse it, yeah. Okay. Yeah, if the reason you want this to be 0.0 is you could print something out and then reparse it, and yeah. When printing floating point literals that are exactly 0, print instead just 0. Okay, that's easy. We'll run the tests one more time. And then that's going to be it for the night. What, dude? Every time I go to Twitch now, it's like someone with obnoxious music. Like there was a DJ's channel or whatever that they were defaulting me to, which was horrible. All right, Peanut's not streaming. So we'll go to software and game development and we'll look for someone to raid because we haven't done that in a while. All right, let's make sure Sokoban compiles. All right. Small tweaks. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out for a couple hours, and I hope you're having a good Thanksgiving. And let's see if someone else is having a good Thanksgiving. We might do over the weekend some more. Like, I'm having just sort of a chill weekend. Like, most of my work days, I'm just working very hard on the game these days, which is why I don't stream as much. But the reason I'm working really hard on the game these days is because we're starting to get into the territory where we start thinking about release, right? We're still not very close to releasing the game, but we're much closer than we've ever been. What is this thing? Is this CA actually people saying they're Canadian? I've seen other streamers have this. It doesn't mean Californian, I tell you that. What does the CA mean? All right. Let's see. There's a lot of Godot people. The power of Unix compels you. That could be good. Play test. Pause a day 20 minutes. Build an MCP client. Okay. At first I was like, he's been building an MCP client for 43 days, but that's not what he's saying. He's saying doing an AI startup fully on Twitch. That's cool. We're not going to rate it, but that's cool. Factory progression design. Is he doing a factory game? Is that what Randy's doing? Yeah, he's programming. All right, let's raid Randy. I don't know if we've raided Randy. I don't know anything about Randy. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later. CA is emoji for Canadian flag, but that's not what the Canadian flag looks like. See you later. Thanks, everyone.